All I'm saying is that this is the most diverse metagame that we've ever had in the history of Elestrals, and I'm going to keep saying that everything is the best deck until I'm proven otherwise. Now, why am I saying that every deck is the best deck? Look, I know I have a track record for saying that, but I did get top 4 with a deck that has not topped before. I got top 4 with ANTITAN. Now, just a little bit of backstory on me with ANTITAN. Believe it or not, the very first tournament for Moonrise that Justin won with Lunar Aggro, I was actually going to bring ANTITAN, but I woke up, I got sick. It's a very different version than what I actually brought for this tournament. That version had Ignectors in it. I think it's very similar to the build that in actual log. They also brought an Ignector version to the event and did fairly well. I think they got X2 and just bubbled out, but still got top 16. So there were two ANTITANs in top 16, which is incredible. Very awesome to see. A lot of the theory behind this deck is very similar to a deck that we posted recently on the channel, and a lot of the theory carries over into this concept for this deck as well. So let's go and get into it. So we have the ANTITAN. We also have, of course, the Aardvarem. And we also have only 2 copies of Aardbud. I know what you're going to say. This does not look like much of an ANTITAN deck. I understand, but there is a reason. We're only on 2 Aardbud because we are playing 1 copy of Rummagem, and the copy of Rummagem will help get the other additional copies of Aardbud as we need to, as well as bridge the rest of the deck together, which we'll talk about in a second. This deck plays a lot like Leggo or the Lunar Earth Aggro deck that Swole got second place with at the Dallas Open. A lot of the theory is going to stay the same. We want a critical mass of starters, we will get to the others in a second, that help us have a great amount of turn 1 plays and continue to apply pressure throughout the rest of the game, especially once you've established a board presence. If you're unfamiliar with what some of these cards do, Rummagem obviously searches for an Earth, so this can get us to our Aardbud as well as the other Earth cards that we're playing. Aardbud, when it receives an Earth, so that's also on cast, can search your deck for an Insectoid and put it into your hand. We'll talk about those bug targets here in a second. But you can also disenchant a spirit from your bug cards in order to special ascend this Aardbud to your Aardvarem from your deck. Very important to say from your deck, it does not ascend from hand, so if you do draw the Aardvarem, you can't use that disenchant effect. Happened once for me over the course of the tournament, not a huge problem. How are we going to abuse that first effect to get into Aardvarem? Let's talk about all of those ways. I guess I should also mention ANTITAN. ANTITAN discards a bug to pop a card. You can do that twice. Crazy. Over the course of your combo, you're searching at least 2 bugs. So this will have 2 pops. And then if there's a bug on the field, it's also unaffected by Elestral effects. So like Kinleo, Boombat, and the like. Let's talk about again how to get that Aardbud effect off to the races. This is going to be a little strange, but we are on a Werepup package. Just 2 Werepup. And that's because of space reasons. I wish I could play a 3rd, but I can't. We're also on Like a Void and Lunar Phase Full Moon. So, what is the point of this in terms of Aardbud? Werepup, again, is going to search for a Lunar Phase, and that Lunar Phase obviously is going to be Full Moon, so you also have the ability to go into Like a Void if you want. The fun thing that's been a development with Like a Void is that this is one of the best Nexus banks that you can have in the game. What do I mean by that? Full Moon, activate it, re-enchant to your Werepup. Now, if I want to go for my Like a Void, I can give it an Earth. And now I have an Earth Like a Void, which I can pair along with Altar of Stars, or I can pair along with my Equilynx. Any of my Nexusers I can use for that effect. The other thing that's really nice with Full Moon is that this can also put additional spirits on anything. It's going to put additional spirits onto our bugs, so then we can disenchant with our Aardbud, but also getting to keep the bug. One of the biggest issues with Aardbud always has been that when you disenchant from your bug, normally it's killing it. If you give it additional spirits via Nexus, or if you give it via Full Moon, now I get to use that bug for both applications of Aardbud and also to pop with the Aardvarem to get into ANTITAN. So there's a lot more utility with Aardbud because of Full Moon, as well as bridging the rest of the deck together. Again, wish I could have played a 3rd Werepup, but just wasn't in the cards. This deck would very much benefit from a 42 card list. Obviously with that Nexus bank, we have to play the 1 copy of Equilynx. This is one of the most broken cards still in the game. I mean, y'all saw this on stream in the feature matches. This card goes crazy. I'm surprised this thing is still around. Other consistency cards for going first. We obviously have the 3 copies of Astrabbit. This brings us up to, with Elechick, a full total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9 good normal casts turn 1. So the odds of you seeing one of these is very, very high. This has more starters than the Earth Lunar Aggro deck did. The whole point of that deck was consistency. Now, you also do need a good bit of consistency in this deck, mainly because of how bricky that this deck can get. There are a lot of cards that you don't want to draw, or cards that you need to draw in tandem with one another, but having these always makes it so that even drawing your bricks doesn't feel as bad, because you're seeing so many cards over the course of a game. Obviously, we have our 2 Demeter to pair with that Equilynx. Shocker. 3 Eddie. I know we still haven't gotten to the bugs. You know what? Honestly, you can make a big enough case that Eddie kind of looks like a bug. So he's kind of a bug in my mind. But Eddie, again, being one of the most broken cards of the format, you need to play 3. And now let's finally get on to our whole suite of bugs. We got 2 Vysceris. We got 2 Spectres. That's all the bugs. That is every bug that we're playing in our deck. Not much of a bug box deck, if you ask me. Now, why am I only playing 4 bugs? There aren't any other good bugs. The biggest issue that I see a lot of ANTITAN players have is that they overemphasize the fact that they're trying to go in on the Insectoid package. The only bugs that are worth searching in the game right now are Vis and Spectres. You can make an argument that like maybe Warmite in some niche scenarios, but like you got Demeter to kind of do the same thing. But like we have Rummagem to get bugs, and then we have Aardbud to get bugs. And if you trigger the Aardbud multiple times, you're going to search this entire package over the course of a game. You don't really need any more than that. So with the additional searchers for these, you're playing 7 bugs. When you search the double Spectres or even the Vis over the course of the combo and you're pitching them for ANTITAN, it feels fine. You have enough pressure with the rest of your deck that you're not going to need anything else. I would not play any more bugs than this right now. I know with Firestorm coming out in the future, I'll probably end up playing the 3rd copy of this. Maybe there's room for a 3rd Specteris. I really did want a 3rd Spect, especially in the metagame right now with Calfmail being everywhere. Galaxy still rearing its ugly head every now and again. If I am going to change anything about the bug package, just add 1 more Spect. That's all you need. That is more than enough. Other cards, Earthquake, Ambro, Shocker, need them. You'll notice no resting on your laurels. Again, no space. There literally wasn't space. Counter run suite, we got 2 Tsunami, 3 Gorgons, 2 Altar, 2 Shield, 2 Argo. Argo, best counter run in the game right now, besides Gorgons, of course. And then obviously the Scythe and Necklace package. Something to note about the counter run suite, you'll notice a lot of 2-ofs. These cards, I think, all have their very specific scenarios, especially in game 1. I like the 2-0 spread, except for Gorgons. Gorgons, you have to play 3. There's no exception for that. Shield, also argument to play 3. Again, no space. All of these 2-0s are great for our side deck package, especially since we're siding a card like Poison Tipped Arrow. For whatever card is the worst, you just slot those 2 counterwords out, put Poison Tipped in, and call it a day. We'll talk a little bit more about that in the side deck portion, but all these cards crazy. Argo plus Rummagem or Argo plus Aardbud is basically a game ender. There's no coming back from Argo resolving plus a searcher. Spirit deck. I think that the Spirit deck is exactly the same as the Lunar Earth Aggro deck. I'm pretty sure it's exact. So 7, 5, 4, 3. Oops, joke's on you. There's actually 8. So 8, 5, 4, 3. Felt really good. Nothing needed changed. Really, really easy Spirit math. So let's talk side deck. I did say that you only needed those 4 copies of the bugs. Now, there is a really, 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 really solid bug that you can side into, especially going second. That card would be Nobby, a card that has not seen a whole lot of love as of late. I still love this card. This card is incredibly solid, especially for cracking boards. Get your opponent down to a scenario where they have like 1 to no back row. Slap down a Nobby, clear their whole board. Now they have a doppelganger to deal with. This is also particularly good into the Blizzrix matchup, which is Absolutely horrifying. I hate that matchup so much. You need to side deck accordingly to make sure that you don't lose. Did play against it in top 8 against 6. A phenomenal Blistrix player. Nabi and Doppelganger did come up. Doppelganger stuck for the entire rest of the game. It was huge. Need to play this package, especially since it's searchable. 2 Boombat, also for Blizz. Resting, also for Blizz. 2 Poison Tip. You could probably play this against Blizz because Altar's not great. So you take the Altars out, put the PTAs in. Plenty of side deck space for Blizz. I was finding myself signing in like 8 to 10 cards for every single matchup just to fine tune the list for whatever needed to happen. I think I've side decked the most in this deck than any other deck that I've played. So these are coming in a lot over the course of the tournament. Last couple cards, 1 shield, 1 tsunami. This is to bump up tsunami and shield up to 3 wherever one of the 2 of counter runes is particularly not good. There are some matchups that Argo is a little iffy. So sometimes you take out Argo and the 2 artifacts and put all 4 in. Doesn't happen often, but there are some matchups where that does feel particularly good. Wouldn't change this portion of the side deck at all. This is a portion that I do want to change. 3 Cryoblast and a Flurmine. I don't know about y'all, but these cards have not been feeling super great for me recently. And I don't have a good reason why. They just don't. I think I only sided this in once, and it was just based on vibes. I can't even remember what matchup this went into. The one thing I will say for a fact, I am not siding 3 of this card anymore. I'm only going to side 2. This sides really well into the main deck that I had, especially with the 2 of counter runes. If there's a counter rune that's particularly bad going second, you can just put in the 2 cryo in its place. It's really simple. I don't know. I feel like this could have either been 3rd Boombat, this could have been 3rd PTA, this could have been a 1 of Divine Blessing. Like there's so many things that this card could have been that I think would have come up because I never sided in all 3 of the Cryoblasts. One other thing to note, and I think I forgot to mention this with the Nabi package, is that with us only being on 2 Werepup with the Full Moon and the Leggo Void, this package fits in very nicely as a replacement for the Werepup package going second. I would highly consider revisiting Nabi in your decks. This card is still a house when it connects, so don't disrespect Nabi. It's still around. But that does it for the ANTITAN deck. I hope y'all enjoyed the profile. Again, I don't think that this is a particularly strong deck. This was not some sort of meta call by any means. It's just a deck that I really wanted to have fun with. Shout out to the law for saying that ANTITAN is the Chronodile of Moonrise and will never get a top. Joke's on you. Anyways, I hope to see you all in the future with more jank top profiles because I will continue to not play the best deck in the room and have fun. So subscribe for more Elestrals content. We're going to have even more fun decks from this past webcam tournament up on the channel very soon, and I hope you will stick around for all of those. So with that being said, peace.